Have you ever imagined that a tiny patch, barely a few millimeters in size, could actually save an entire plant from a terminal disease? Or how a sticky hydrogel could replace drenching fields with chemical pesticides? And what's the secret sauce that lets this tech zap medicine, nanoparticles, and electrical signals all at once? We're about to dive into a wild new scientific breakthrough that is totally opening up incredible, game-changing horizons for how we interact with the plant world. Engineers over at UC San Diego just cooked up a super cool adhesive hydrogel that you can load up with all sorts of active ingredients, like small molecule drugs or even nanoparticles. You just slap this patch right onto the surface of a leaf or stem, and it instantly starts pumping the medicine directly into the plant's tissues. In lab tests, a patch loaded with antibiotics managed to totally wipe out a bacterial infection in just about 48 hours. So, what's the secret behind this effectiveness? The real superpower of this tech is how the stuff actually travels through the plant. Once you apply the patch, the medicine doesn't just sit there, it actually cruises through the plant's internal transport system, reaching parts way far away from where you first stuck it. That means a tiny little patch can treat the whole plant, which is an absolute game changer for how we think about localized medicine. But how does this patch actually stick to a plant surface, which is famously tricky? Plant surfaces are super complex. They change as the plant grows and are covered in waxy, water-repelling layers. So, the researchers came up with a special blend of two polymers. The first is polyacrylamide, which is this rubbery stuff that gives the patch its strength and flexibility. The second is chitosan, a natural material that forms strong but reversible chemical bonds with the plant's surface. Thanks to this mix, the stuff sticks like a charm to a huge variety of leaf and stem surfaces, whether they're smooth, rough, or even covered in tiny hairs. It also stays put, even when it's pouring rain. And the best part? You can take it off and stick it back on without hurting the plant at all. Plus, it's totally transparent, so it lets light pass through without blocking any of that vital photosynthesis action. To prove that this stuff could actually travel through the plant, the researchers ran a super cool experiment. They loaded the patch up with tiny fluorescent particles called quantum dots and stuck it on just one leaf. The results were straight up mind-blowing. Those particles were spotted traveling through the plant's veins in only 4 hours. That solid proof basically confirmed that the patch turns the whole plant into an integrated drug delivery system. And this stuff isn't just limited to delivering meds, it can carry all sorts of other things too. The researchers actually proved it can transmit electrical signals, which totally opens up a whole new door for human-plant communication. In a groundbreaking experiment, they used the patch as a bridge to send an electrical signal straight to a Venus flytrap. So how did they pull that off? The researchers loaded the patch with electrically conductive ions and used it to stick a tiny wire onto the Venus flytrap. Then, they hooked up the other end to a bracelet worn by a human that zaps out a faint electrical signal whenever you tap it. And the moment the person tapped that bracelet, the signal traveled right through the patch and into the plant, causing the trap to snap shut without anyone even touching it. This experiment isn't just some wild tech demo, it's actual proof of a totally new concept. See, you can use the patch to keep tabs on a plant's health in real time by reading the electrical signals it's putting out. Plants naturally generate these signals in response to environmental stuff like touch, thirst, or even diseases. By using this tech, a farmer could basically sense when a plant is stressed way before any symptoms even start to show. The main goal of this tech is to make plant care way more precise and cut down on all that massive waste. Instead of drenching entire fields in chemical pesticides like we do in traditional farming, in the future we could just use targeted patches that deliver the exact dose we need right where we need it. That seriously slashes environmental pollution and saves those precious chemicals, especially when we're dealing with high-value crops. And the environmental impact goes way beyond just cutting back on spraying, since the patch actually stops those active ingredients from evaporating or washing away like they do in traditional methods. This way, you're guaranteed that the full dose gets right into the plant without any waste at all. Plus, the fact that you can peel it off and reuse it without causing any damage makes it such a sustainable and cost-effective option. These features honestly make it super promising for the future of precision agriculture. And this tech could totally evolve into a full-blown integrated biomonitoring system. The research teams are already aiming to use it for moving way bigger biological stuff like actual cells or genetic materials. This could honestly pave the way for turning plants into low-cost bioreactors that pump out super useful stuff like human medicines. Just imagine having a plant in your own garden that's producing a life-saving drug for a rare disease. The researchers published their findings in the prestigious Science Advances journal. This breakthrough got major backing from the U.S. National Science Foundation through the University of California's Materials Research Science and Engineering Center. It also received support from the Translational Research Institute for Space Health Fellowship Program, which is funded by NASA. That just goes to show how huge this discovery is, not just for farming, but for the future of space exploration too. Looking to the future, scientists see this tech becoming a way for us to actually communicate directly with our crops. Instead of waiting for symptoms to pop up, the system could alert the farmer the second something goes wrong. We can even use it to study how plants respond to crazy weather conditions, which would totally help us develop new strains that are way more resistant to droughts and heat. It's honestly a revolution in how we understand the plant world. Wrapping it all up, this tech really shows how science can come through with some seriously elegant solutions for our biggest challenges. In a world struggling with food security and climate change, this tiny little patch brings the promise of way smarter, more sustainable farming. It is honestly so exciting to imagine a day where we can just talk to our plants, totally understand what they need, and even use them to create stuff that helps people. This breakthrough is a massive reminder of the incredible internal systems that exist within every single plant out there.